last but definitely not least, WBLS is in the house once again, and Tripp is news director at both WBLS and WLIB, and heard nationally Monday through Friday on the Steve Harvey Morning Show. Y'all love her there, right?
Yes.
And WLIB's Get Up Morning with Erica Campbell. She is also the host of Healthful Solutions on cable, a narrator of certain and several Showtime television specials, and is executive producer, researcher, and voice of the nationally syndicated Black History Minute, United Stations Radio Network, where she provides the historic, cultural, and political and social milestones of African Americans. Give it up for Ann Tripp. All right, buckle your seatbelts. We're gonna go on around, y'all. All right, again, let's give it one more hand to our esteemed panel here helping us out today with this conversation. Now, Ashley, I want to start with you because you sit in a unique spot. I mean, you just heard your father speak. He's powerful. Every time he speaks, people listen. You grew up with that man. You grew up, not only are you young and on this new forefront of this new generation of protesting, getting their voices heard, but you grew up with it and saw the marches happen and you saw the protests happen. How did that affect the voice that you are now distributing today? And what can we learn from what you learned?
First of all, good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
First, I was very intimidated growing up as far as taking my voice and taking leadership because my father is great shoes to fill. We were raised in the movement, and then every Saturday I've been to Saturday Action Rally since I was probably 6. We've always been at the marches, been in the forefront. We knew the victims, we knew the things, so I understood the struggle. But that was my father. So I had my personal connection was also affected. So it took me a while to step into the role that I am today. It took me a while to find my voice. But what made me find that voice was the killing of Trayvon Martin and the fact that George Zimmerman, basically he wasn't charged for anything, he got away with it. And I didn't understand how my entire life, Remy Ma, Sharpton, the National Network, the NAACP, and Urban League, and all of these civil rights groups, and all of these leaders were out there doing the work. But people were still dying and no one was being charged for it. So that was a problem for me, and I began to resent the movement. But then I had to take a look at myself, and it was like, Sima, what do you do? Nothing. You're complaining, you're judging, and analyzing. And a lot of people sit outside of the movement and analyze and judge. And once you get into it, you see it's a completely different ballgame, it's a completely different fight. It's not easy, it's not short-term solutions that's gonna handle things. If you have to get into the trenches, you have to raise your voice as loud as you can. Even if you sometimes you don't understand what you're fighting. But you have to fight with those, and I'm proud and I'm humbled to be under the leadership of Reverend Al Sharpton and like Attorney Michael Hardy, who's been in the trenches and know what they're doing. Because in the recent 5 to 6 years, so many young people have come up and stood up, and I'm proud of them. But a lot of them are not sitting down because they were not down, because it's a harder fight than they ever imagined. But because they didn't have the leadership of those civil rights organizations, it's harder for them. But that it's all a learning experience, and it's something I'm glad that I'm here so I can help them, and I can also be the gap between the older and the younger people, because that's how I serve India.
Now, Remy Ma, whether it's you protesting the prison system or putting out a dope diss tape, it was killer. I'm just saying, since I'm there. You're always great at making your voice heard, and people listen. They want to gravitate to what you're doing. So how important is it for you to use your art to let your voice be heard?
I think sometimes as artists, we don't realize when we first start that our voice and our platform becomes what it actually is, where we can reach so many people. When I first began, my main objective was just to be good at rapping and music and be considered, one of the best, not just amongst the females, but amongst the men as well. But as time goes by, you start to realize that people are actually listening to you, and then you have things that you want to say outside of music, outside of your career. You see things that are happening not just to yourself and your peers, but people in your community. People, my whole family is not Grammy nominated. All my friends that I know, they don't make as much money as I make, and they don't live in the neighborhood that I live in. So I get to see both sides, how it is where I live and where once you have a couple of dollars and you're in a different tax bracket and how you get treated then. And I also get to see how you get treated when I'm regular and I just got on my hoodie, my sweats, my sneakers, and I'm traveling with one of my cousins somewhere and I'm in a different neighborhood. And it's just crazy the different dynamics that there is out there and no one's saying anything. And a lot of times I see when isolated incident may happen, celebrities, they'll use their platform to post about it, but once it's over, 24, 48 hours later, they're on to something new. You know, I realize that we don't really sit behind anything when people go with the fads, their publicists telling them, hey, this is a big thing, everyone's talking about it, post it. You'll get followers, you'll get likes. But followers and likes don't help, you know, what's really going on out here in these communities, in our streets, our children. You know, I'm an expecting mother, but I'm also a mom of 4, 3 through marriage, and 1 that I had when I was really young. So I kind of grew up with my son. My son just turned 18 years old. And to see some of the things that he goes through as a young man, he is one of those kids that likes to hang out with his cousins, and he hangs around the projects, and he's in Queens, and in the Bronx, and all these different areas. And some of the stories that he comes home and he tells me how he's getting harassed by police, or how he got pulled over, or how someone stopped him. And these things never happen to him in our neighborhoods. And it's like, I feel like when it comes to things like that, we really need to stick behind it and stay behind it. You know, not just for where we live and the people that we affect, but for the people that we can speak for that don't have a voice. I don't know, like 6 million followers right now, so when I'm talking, I want to talk to as many people as I possibly can and let them know, you know, our children are in danger. You go to the hospital, outside of the police thing, there's an epidemic with these prescription drugs. There was a time when I would take my son to the hospital and they'd be full with babies that had colic or earaches or teething or whatever the case may be. You go to the hospital now, I took him about a year ago, and the whole hospital was full with teenagers that was OD'd on some type of Xanax or Percocet or whatever the case may be, and no one's talking about that. That's the new thing that's happening in our neighborhoods, and it's just a time and a place for everything, but I feel like the time is definitely now, and it's been now for a while, that we need to do something about our community.
All right, man, she dropped me some knowledge there, y'all. Good knowledge. That's a deep moment, but I have to take a step back. Does she not look amazing for the second mother? I'm like, I had to Google it, like she must be getting steroids. Ain't no way. Look at all this good up here. It's a boy. You gotta say, no, you get more beautiful if you have a boy. The girls are taking beauty on that stuff. Urban legend, I don't know, I'm just saying it's a boy though. Okay, all right, right here. I have to talk to you because you're a journalist like myself, and how is it being a journalist in the day of fake news? You know, this thing has been coined. And how can you ensure that we're getting our authentic voices out there? Because a lot of times we're saying things, we're protesting things in our community, and then people turn around and say, that's not happening, that's not true, everything's fine, they're just being dramatic about it. So how can we have our authentic voices heard and not have someone diminish it by calling it fake news?
I mean, I think that's a way that we've been gaslighted right now. I think Trump has been able to brand that term fake news to make us all question ourselves. But we've been gaslighted since the beginning, where people are constantly telling us that, no, that's not racism, or no, you're not being followed in the store. Well, we know it's real, but proving racism can be a really difficult thing. So when you ask me about news and how to get our voices out there, it's time for us to we have to create our own. So that's why I created my podcast, Real Black News, because I was tired of going online or even watching the news and not seeing our news. It's Trump 24/7. But what's happening in the Black community? Where are the positive stories about us? We are an amazing people. We're doing some wonderful things. Where are those stories? Where are the small stories about people who are in those small towns that have faced injustices, that maybe have died in police custody, or any of the other things that are happening to us? Where are those stories? So for me as a journalist, it's really about taking the power back and creating our own. And because of social media, because of digital media, we really have the opportunity to do it. We can do it for free. We can get our voices out there. But because of fake news, it's even more important for us to do the research, to look and read into it, to really try to talk to the people and find those stories. Because I believe our stories matter. Black Lives Matter. Black news matters, Black media matters, and thank God for social media because it continually connects us. So we don't always feel alone. We don't always feel like it's in our head. Am I by myself? Am I the only one that feels like this? So because of social media and Facebook and Twitter, we can come together and we can say, wait, I didn't know about that. Wait, you think like that as well? So it's really up to us as a community to bring our stories out and connect that way.
And thank you. And you're also making sure people know about all the stories that are out there. We just